Now, the next item is more for heavy-duty repairs, or in case you need to fabricate something like footwear, uh, backpacks, or uh, maybe canvases, shelter materials. That's the sewing awl. This is the standard one that most people are familiar with. Here's the cap. The thread goes inside. It comes out. Yeah, you got a loop to hold tension, and the needle would go down here. One thing I like to point out with the needles, if you notice, I found that standard sewing machine needles do work quite well on these guys. These ones were made for sewing awls, but in my mid to long term kits, I do keep a couple of these handy. Now, one thing, if it comes for fabricating or even repairing very heavy materials like footwear, you're going to have quite a bit of material to try and push a sewing awl needle through. So one of the things that I go with, and I don't actually keep it in the box. I got a special little tube type case for that. But micro twist drill bits do come in handy. Okay, of course I see. Can I open them up? Probably not. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's see. Turn this down. Okay, let's see. I want to give you a better look at these guys. So for things like making shoes or maybe some creative fabricating, a lot of times when you're out in a situation like that, you may come up with an idea. I don't know. Maybe you want to make yourself a fishing lure, maybe a fishing trap. Who knows? Anyway, it could come up where say if I only had a way to make a small hole, then I can run a piece of thread through that and do whatever. You have to use your imagination. So one of the things, and they will fit into the. This is a metal type sewing awl, which is a lot smaller, a lot easier to carry. So that comes in nice. This one here is one of my unique finds. A twist drill bit, or twist. I think they call it a twist drill. Anyway, a hand drill. The interesting thing about it, let me take it apart and I'll give you an idea, is that it also holds these sewing awl needles. And if you see here, I keep a couple inside. It's just a very handy way to have it all in one package. So that's one of the things I like. I put that in my mid-size kit. I don't think I'll be doing any heavy-duty fabricating, but if I need to fix a shoe out in the woods, which with today's manufacturing and our overseas quality control or lack thereof, gets to be more and more necessary. So this little item, as you see, it all goes together in one small little package, and it'll get the job done. Another thing I like to point out too is, when you do have items like this, if you're out there by yourself, and you're trying to find a way to fit into a group, being able to do things like this might be just the the way that people will look and say, this person's got something we could use. It could be helpful, could keep us from running around in the winter with bare feet. Things like that. So, and if as small and easy to carry as these guys are, they also make good barter items. You might get an egg or two for a regular sewing needle. Maybe if you have to actually mend some socks, you might get a squash or two. Things like that. So or if you can actually make somebody and really do a good job on a pair of shoes, they may look and say, hey, we want to keep this guy around for a while. So, it might be the introduction that you need to prove your intentions. And I'm going to add again, most of the people, or a good number of the people that will be heading out of the cities do have good intentions and maybe good skills. You don't want to just shoot them because they don't happen to be your next door neighbor. We've really got to discourage that aspect, and I'm going to kind of put that out in all my videos. Don't just shoot people because they don't happen to live next door to you.